Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today is the 20th day in the month of Muharram, am I right? 1440 after the historic hijrah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, which is equivalent to the 30th day in the month of September 2018, the Christian era. We are here once again to continue from where we stopped. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us. Let me start by consoling you in sitting under this hot sunny afternoon. You know, in Jannah, there is no such thing as heat. So the believers will say, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Quran 52:27, Surah At-Tur, فَمَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا complete. فَمَنَّ اللَّهُ عَلَيْنَا وَوَقَانَا عَذَابَ السَّمُومِ. That Allah has been merciful to us and He has saved us from the fierce, torment of fire. Adhabar iska mezafi. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant that to the believers. The topic we have this afternoon, and which I intend to deliver first in English language, then have a summary of it in Hausa language, so that the message can be internalized. It's modern traps of shaitan, the social media. Don't forget, the theme is living Islam, which means wherever we are as Muslims, we're expected to live our lives in accordance with the dictates of the Sharia of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, in the hadith, in the Sunan of Abu Isa at-Tirmizi, Hasanul li ghayrihi, the hadith of Mu'adh bin Jabal, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, Abu Dharr al-Ghifari and Mu'adh bin Jabal, the Prophet said to them, Ittaqillah haythuma kunt. Fear Allah wherever you are. Wa atbi'i sayyi'ata al-hasanata tamhuha. Follow up an evil deed with a good one. It will erase the effect of your sins. Wa khaliqin nas bi khuluqin hasanin. Aw kama qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And interact with people, have good character towards people. And the commentators of the hadith, they say this hadith summarizes and it gives us an all-encompassing advice that a believer is in no need of another advice if he truly understands the message of this hadith. One talks about your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if that is perfect, then you have no any reason to worry. The second one talks about your relationship with other human beings and your relationship with yourself. And that is why the first one says, fear Allah wherever you are. Whether you're on social media, wherever you are, whether you are in the depth of your room, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَتْبِئِ السَّيِّئَةَ الْحَسَنَةَ تَمْهُوهَا. Follow up an evil deed with a good one. It will erase it. Then the right of others, your responsibility towards other people. And that speaks volume of how the Muslims today behave on social media. Approximately, we have 7 billion people in this world. Of these 7 billion people, we have about 4.2 billion people that are active internet users. Of these 4-point-something billion people, we have about 3.196 billion people that are active social media users. And these 3 billion users, we can conveniently say that about 1 billion of them are Muslims. Imagine the Muslims taking the advantage of their presence on social media to send out a spiritual energy, to spread the message of Islam, the moral energy, the spiritual energy. If each of these billion Muslims on social media that are actively involved in it could live their lives in accordance with the dictates of the Sharia, how many people of the remaining 6 billion people in the world do you think will be attracted to Islam by the action of the believers on social media? Unfortunately, the Muslims and the non-Muslims on social media, you could hardly differentiate between the two. Most of us on social media, and some years back here in Kano, I think pretty much 10 years ago, we had a youth forum. And one of the presenters made, an amazing statement. He said, 90%, listen attentively, 90% of what is on the internet is positive, is useful, is beneficial knowledge. 90% of the content is beneficial knowledge. Only 10% of those contents are evil in nature. But ironically, 90% of internet users, they go for the 10% evil content. And only about 10% go for the 90% positive content. Am I making sense? And that is the reality we're living in. And that justifies, we don't need anything to justify the statement of Allah. But this is consistent with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. وَإِن تُطِعْ أَكْثَرَ مَنْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يُضِلُّوكَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ إِن يَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا الظَّنَّ. If you were to follow majority of people on the face of earth, they will mislead you away from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They follow nothing but conjecture. They have no certainty as regards to what they follow. And that is what we see on social media. Satan has made a promise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to misguide us, the progeny of Adam alayhi salam. He made a statement, he made a bold, statement, a bold promise, a bold, commitment to misguide the progeny of Adam. He said, قَالَ فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي لَأَقْعُدَنَّ لَهُمْ صِرَاطَكَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. He said, Ya Allah, because you have misled me, I will surely sit in wait against them. He will wait for us. Allah said, Satan continues saying, ثُمَّ لَآتِيَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ وَعَنْ أَيْمَانِهِمْ وَعَنْ شَمَائِلِهِمْ وَلَا تَجِدُ أَكْثَرُهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ. He said, I will come to them from before them, from behind them, from their right and from their left. Each of the four cardinal points, Satan will launch its assaults against us. This was a promise he made in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he said, you will not find most people being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do you show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? By doing what is expected of you to do as a Muslim wherever you are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said in Quran 76, Surah Al-Dahr, Surah Al-Insan, Allah said, Inna hadaynahu sabila imma shakiran wa imma kafura. Allah has shown us the broad way, the path that leads to salvation, the path that leads to Jannah. Imma shakiran wa imma kafura. You either show gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by behaving as a Muslim that you ought to be, or you do the opposite of it. But Allah has shown you whatever you need that will lead you to Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained in details, and even through the words of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in details, detailing out everything that we need to take us to Jannah. Ibn Jarir in Tabari, in his tafsir, under this, the verse that I made reference to, he said, ثُمَّ لَآتِيَنَّهُمْ مِنْ جَمِيعِ وُجُوهِ الْحَقِّ. Satan shall come to them from all directions, to us, the progeny of Adam alayhi salam, from the direction of truth and from the direction of falsehood. He shall bar them from the truth. You see the truth, Satan prevents you from accepting it and will make falsehood fair seeming to you. So all the things we do on social media, it's cool because it's trendy, it's the in thing. We forget about the Sharia provisions against any of our actions, but it's cool. As long as it's in vogue, it's normal, it's cool. We have to be, consistent with the civilization. And you have some people foolishly saying that Islam is not consistent with this thaqafa, that the 21st century civilization is far ahead of Islam, so you don't have to showcase your Islamicity wherever you are. But we say, even in Rome, we do as the Romans, we do as the Prophet ﷺ asked us to do. You know, they say in Rome, you do as the Romans do. But we say in Rome, we do as Prophet Muhammad ﷺ asked us to do. So on social media, you do as is expected of you as a Muslim. What are some of the evils that, you know, through which Satan comes to us, you know, via social media? One of the key things, because of the time constraint, one of the key things I want us to look at here is the issue of time wastage. Conservatively, each and every one of us that is an active user of social media, any of the platforms, conservatively, 10 good hours of our lives, we spend it online, except for a few. And of these 10 hours, we ask ourselves this question: what do we do? What positive impact are we making? What are we learning? What are we disseminating? What information are we giving out there? What information are we assimilating out there? Of these 10 good hours that we spend actively online. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about time. No, Satan comes to us. As a Muslim, we ought to have timetable, which we follow judiciously. Because a Muslim is a meticulous human being. So we ought to have a timetable to guide our day-to-day activities. In the absence of such, we become wasteful. The hadith in Sahih Bukhari, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, Ni'matan maghbun. Who can complete it? فيهما كثير من الناس أيهما الصحة والفراغ. Sahih Bukhari. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made available to us these provisions, this ni'mah, this bounty. But a lot of people are negligent towards it. They are neglectful of it. They are heedless towards it. Time, health, and free time. So you hear a lot of people saying, I want to kill time. Little do they know that time is killing them. On social media, you waste, you just go, there is this devil on YouTube. I don't know, but the devil is, you can't see the devil. You click on one link just to watch one thing on YouTube. Before you know what's happening, you've spent 1 hour watching 10 extra videos that you never thought you will watch. So you have to be very disciplined before you can be a good Muslim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Allah said, by the time, absolute time, Allah took an oath with absolute time. What was, what is, and what is going to be in future. Allah took an oath. The past time, the present, the future, the generations that were destroyed, those that attend salvation, what we witnessed, Allah took an oath with time. Nothing is done outside the realm of time. But Allah said, Innal insan, harfut tawqid, emphasis. Innal insan lafi khusr. Verily, man is in loss. Man, you and I, every one of us is included. Innal insan lafi khusr. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made an exception out of this general rule by saying, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Except those that believe and act righteousness, and those that encourage others, mutual encouragement towards piety, towards sabr. Now, Imam Shafi'i, as Shaykh al-Islam, Shaykh Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab ibn Sulaiman al-Najdi, he brought in his kitab, Usul al-Thalatha, the statement of Imam Shafi'i, under the commentary of this surah. He said, لو ما أنزل الله على خلقه إلا هذه السورة لكفتهم. Had Allah not revealed any chapter upon his creations except Surah Al-Asr, لكفتهم, it will have been sufficient for them. Meaning, because Asbab al-Sa'ada, all the means of attaining salvation has been listed out there, and the means of, getting to be destroyed by satanic web has been listed out there. So time wastage pretty much available on social media. So what are we doing when we are up there? Ask yourself this question. Allah will ask us about this time that He has given to us. And what is going to be the question? When Allah said, "Alhaakum at-takathur, hatta zurtumul maqabir, kalla sawfa ta'lamun, thumma kalla sawfa ta'lamun, kalla law ta'lamuna ilma al-yaqin la tara'unna al-jahim, thumma," the end of it, thumma la tus'alunna yawma idhin 'anil na'im. Allah will ask each one of us. The Mufassirun, they said, you know, a food that you munched, Allah will ask you regarding that ni'mah on Yawm al-Qiyamah. The oxygen we inhale, whatever ni'mah that is there available to us on the face of earth, Allah will ask us regarding how we use it. So free time and health, Allah will ask us regarding these things. So we waste our time on social media. And what do we do there? What do we do there when we're there? YOLO. Who can tell me what YOLO means? What? You live only once. That's what they say. So enjoying your life to the fullest. You live only once. Why must you be restricted by certain Sharia provisions? Why must you be caged by Islamic provisions? You know, you have freedom. Freedom is your right. Air it out. It's your birthright. Freedom, you can do and undo. So on social media, a lot of people forget about this. You live only once. Let me enjoy my life at the peak of it. But nobody knows when he or she is going to depart from this world. But this idea of dahriyun, you know, the people that, you know, they say it's time. Let's kill time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about it in Quran al-Kareem. In Quran chapter 45 verse 24. Allah said, and this was present 1,400 years ago. Today, if we touch you, we say you're civilized. You know, 21st century civilization. But you're taking yourself back to 1,400 years. Even before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What the Jahiliyyah period were upon. What were they upon? You live only once. Allah said, وَقَالُوا مَا هِيَ إِلَّا حَيَاتُنَا الدُّنْيَا نَمُوتُ وَنَحْيَا وَمَا يُهْلِكُنَا إِلَّا الدَّهْرِ. This was their slogan. And this is the slogan that most Muslim youth of today use. You live only once. Enjoying your life to the fullest. And the Quraysh, the kuffar of Mecca, they used to say that. وَقَالُوا مَا هِيَ إِلَّا حَيَاتُنَا الدُّنْيَا نَمُوتُ وَنَحْيَا وَمَا يُهْلِكُنَا إِلَّا الدَّهْرِ. But Allah said, وَمَا لَهُمْ بِذَلِكَ مِنْ عِلْمٍ إِنْهُمْ إِلَّا يَظُنُّونَ. They said, what is the life of this world? مَا هِيَ. What is the life of this world? Except that we live and we die. Nothing kills us except time. There is no resurrection. We're not going to be accountable for the time that we're wasting. We're not going to be accountable for what we do on social media. And in the Islamic Sharia, there are certain instances where the written word carries the same weight with a spoken word. So if someone writes that he's divorced his wife, or he utters it, it carries the same weight. So whatever you write on social media, whatever picture you post on social media, whatever you do on social media is the same thing as Ma yalfidhu min qawlin illa ladayhi raqibun atid. How many times do we think of this when we post things on social media? Ma yalfidhu min qawlin. Nakira, you know, min qawlin. Whatever you utter, whatever word you speak, ma yalfidhu min qawlin illa ladayhi raqibun atid. It will be recorded and presented before each one of us on Yawm al-Qiyamah. May Allah safeguard us. So don't think, you know, even the scientists, they tell you, the ICT experts, they tell you whatever goes online stays online. You can only seek for Allah's forgiveness, but it stays online. If you delete it, someone already has it. Have you forgotten that you have internet providers? Have you forgotten that whatever you search has to go through the mother, you know, the people that are providing the internet for you? So the data is there. Whatever goes online stays online. You can only seek for Allah's forgiveness. What other evil do we have on social media? Spreading of lies and rumors. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, in ja'akum fasikum binaba'in fatabayyanu, ay fatathabbatu, an tusibu qawman bijahalatin, fatusbihu ala ma fa'altum nadimin. Allah said, O you who believe, in ja'akum fasik, when a fasik, an evil person comes to you with the news, fatabayyanu, wa fi ba'd al-qira'a fatathabbatu, establish, confirm. What do we have today? We spread a lot of messages on social media. We forwarded messages every day, forwarded messages. But if you are asked, do you know the authenticity of this message you are sending? You don't know. If it was a lie against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's all cool. You think you have fulfilled all righteousness by sending that the Prophet said, and that they said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when it's Ramadan or when it's Rajab, the first person that announces it will be saved from hellfire. You are lying against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but you're spreading it. You think you are fulfilling all righteousness. Yet again, the hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari and also in the Muqaddimah of Sahih Muslim, the hadith of Al-Mughira bin Shu'bah, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Inna kadhiba alayya laysa ka kadhib ahad." Lying against me, wallahi, is not the same as lying against any other than me. Man kadhaba alayya muta'ammidan falyatabawwa maq'adahu minan nar. Sahih Muslim in the Muqaddimah and also in Sahih Bukhari, the hadith of Al-Mughira bin Shu'bah. Whoever lies against me deliberately should prepare a house for himself in hellfire. So how many of us are preparing, are building mansions in hellfire by using social media to forward lies, deceits, all in the name of serving Islam? Verification. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, and kafa bil mar'i ithman an yuhadditha bi kulli ma sami'a. It is in the Silsilat al-Sahih of Sheikh Nasiruddin al-Albani. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, kafa bil mar'i ithman. It is enough sin for a man to say everything that he hears. Whatever you hear, you spread it. Whatever message you see online, you spread it. It is enough to declare you as a sinful person. So you have to verify. Look at what happened during the Battle of Uhud. When Mus'ab bin Umayr radiallahu an, when Mus'ab bin Umayr was assassinated, there was the rumor that was flying around that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been assassinated. Because you know Mus'ab looks like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Mus'ab bin Umayr. So when he was assassinated during the Battle of Uhud, rumor, and to tell you the danger of it, and the Muslims became weak. And they retreated. And that dealt a big blow against them. Look at the rumor that was spread against Aisha radiallahu anha, al-ifk. Inna alladhina yuhibbuna an tashi'a al-fahisha lilladhina amanu. Those that love to spread evil rumors against believers. So on social media, you find it a lot. People are there just to find something to use against you. As a Muslim, why do you set traps against your fellow Muslim brothers and sisters? There are a lot of Muslims on social media. They keep munching what people said so that they will use it against them in future. Why? So a Muslim, that is the web of Satan. That is the web of Satan. How many of us? The ladies do it, the guys do it, it's all there. Instagram, you keep munching things to use against people in future. So people have all this damning information about others and they release on social media. A Muslim, that is the web of Satan. Another thing, the spread of immorality. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said in Quran chapter 24 verse 30, قُلْ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُدُّوا مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ وَيَحْفَظُوا فُرُوجَهُمْ ذَلِكَ عَزْكَى لَهُمْ. Tell the believing men first. Tell the believing women second. And they should preserve their chastity. What do we see on social media? All the evils are out there. What do you see on Instagram? All the evils are out there. The Muslim sisters, what do they post on social media? The Muslim brothers, what do they post on social media? The satanic web out there. Have we forgotten that one day All these things are going to be flashed in front of us in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How bad it is for us to stand in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looking at our evil on social media. Allah is going to ask us. Then another thing, PhD, but not, Doctor of Philosophy, PhD on social media, another satanic web. What is PhD? Pull him or her down. Pull him down. Pull her down. If they want to pull me down now, all it takes is 1 minute. Go to social media, spread whatever is there to spread, and that's the end of the person. And the Muslims are found doing that. Pull him down or pull her down. What do you benefit from that? What evil don't we commit that you spread the evil of other people? Put an end to evil, but avoid speaking about it. When you speak about evil, you spread evil. When you tell us on social media that yesterday someone was caught raping an 8-year-old daughter, you have spread evil. Why do we need to know that? The relevant authorities are doing their job. If you spread evil, if you speak about evil, some people are not aware of it, and you get them introduced to it. So for example, in the masjid, maybe out here, maybe there are prostitutes standing outside at night, and you keep saying that in the masjid now you want to talk about prostitution. You can talk about prostitution in general terms, and that is what we need to know as Muslims. But when you start saying on so streets, once it's 7 o'clock, you see women lined up, prostitution so cheap, the evil of our society. You think you are speaking against evil, but you are actually helping them to advertise it. Then people in the masjid there are people there that have never known of it, and Satan will now come with his satanic wave and introduce them to that evil. So as Muslims, we have to be very smart. Then also, some people are insulting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I didn't hear about it, but now you are spreading it using social media. Have you heard what happened in Denmark? Have you heard what happened in this place? Then someone used the Quran as toilet paper. Well, a'yadhu billah. I didn't know about it, but you are spreading the picture. You are equal to the evil person. How many Muslims think like this? So what really are we doing on social media? Are we influencing positively, or are we being influenced negatively? This is a question we all need to answer. Our time. The consequences and the solution, so that we round up. The consequences, wallahi, if we are out there and we are not impacting positively, we're going to regret every bit of data that we spend on social media. Every second we spend on social media without adding benefits to knowledge base, to guiding anyone, wallahi al-azim, on Yawm al-Qiyamah, it will be a regret for us. The day when your regrets will avail you nothing. When it will be said, go back to this world and seek for the light. يوم يقول المنافقون والمنافقات للذين آمنوا انظرونا نقتبس من نوركم قيل ارجعوا وراءكم فالتمسوا نور فضرب بينهم بسور لهم باب باطنه فيه الرحمة وظاهره من قبل العذاب. Go back to this world and seek for the light you use on Sirat. The world is no longer in existence. So now is the time to make good use of the opportunity. Use the tools at your disposal. You have the social media, spread the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are an engineer, open an account that will be beneficial to your fraternity. You are a lawyer, open an account that will be beneficial to your fraternity. But by all means, don't be an obstacle to Islam. A lot of people are out there looking at you, your behavior on social media, and they keep describing Islam based on what you do. Maybe this will inspire us. Each one of us seated here, and each of the member of the larger Dar al-Islam, the house of Islam, we are a corner from among the corners of Islam. Do not allow Islam to be attacked through your corner. How do you do that? When you don't behave yourself as a real Muslim, you have allowed Islam to be attacked through your corner. A day of regret. وَيَوْمَ يَعَدُّ الظَّالِمْ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِي. The day when the criminal will bite at his finger and he said, Ya laytani ittakhaztu ma'a ar-rasul sabila. Had I know I would have followed the path of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya waylata laytani lam attakhidh fulanan khalila laqad adallani an adh-dhikri ba'da iz ja'ani. Said, oh Allah, this person, had I know I wouldn't have taken him as a bosom friend. I was never introduced to haram until I got to know this person via Facebook. I was never introduced to haram until I started following a particular handle on Instagram. Ya waylata laytani lam attakhidh fulanan khalila. Laqad adallani an adh-dhikri ba'da iz ja'ani. You know that it was haram. Now the truth has come to you, but you allowed your lust to have a ride on you. And Satan will desert you at the time of need. Lastly, we will never be able to do it in Hausa again. Can we? Okay, lastly, how do you behave yourself there? There is the hadith of Jarir bin Abdullah al-Bajali in Sahih Muslim. When the Prophet ﷺ told him, the Prophet talked about lowering the gaze and looking at haram things. And Jarir bin Abdullah al-Bajali, he said to the Prophet ﷺ, but sometimes, accidental gaze. The Prophet ﷺ said, a sudden gaze, he said, turn your sight away. You will not be requited for that sudden gaze. So the smart youth of today, what do? Kallo na farko halal ko? Sai dinga kallon ta har sai ta bata. The youth, they always try to outsmart the Sharia. Like the son of Prophet Noah. When Prophet Noah told his son in Surah Al-Hud, oh my son, follow me. Follow the message I came with. There is this ark that Allah has commanded me to build. Enter the ark, you'll be saved. He said, no, my father, I got everything in I'm not a kid. I'm not a kid. I'm a matured person. I can handle it. That is the slogan of the youth. That was what the son of Noah said. He said, I have everything in control. The father said, no, you cannot run away from the adhab of Allah. He said, no, everything is in control. It's under control. What happened? He said, I'm going to take shelter at the zenith of the mountain. So when the flood comes, it's not going to reach me. What happens? When it came, it rose above the shelter that it took, and it became among those that were drawn. Allah destroyed him. So we cannot outsmart the Sharia. So don't follow with. Then this hadith wraps it up. The hadith of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Iyyakum wal julus ala turuqat." I warn you, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, beware of sitting in the street. Today, beware of going on social media. Beware of going online. What do they say on Twitter? Twitter streets. Yes, you can see the universality of Islam. Iyyakum. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, beware of sitting on the streets, in the streets. And the companion said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have no alternative. Like the youth of today, we have no alternative than to go online. They said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have no alternative than to sit on the streets, in the streets. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, okay. In abaytum fa'atu tariqa haqqahu. If you insist to be online, if you insist to go on social media, if you insist to sit on the streets, zaman kwalbati. Kuna zagin kowa da ya wuce. If you insist on sitting in the streets, to give the streets its right. Look at the beauty of Islam. Today, feminism, women's rights. Islam is far ahead of that. We are not talking about human rights. We are talking about the right of way. Can you imagine the beauty of Islam? So the Prophet said, give the way its right. And he said, Gaddul basar, lower your gaze. Wa kaffal adha, refrain from harming others. So don't go there and be spreading malicious, evil messages about people that you are no longer in good terms with. Don't do that. It happens a lot in our societies today. You see it, Arewa Twitter, they say, oh, so person released the nude of another girl, they spread, it sends it there. They say, oh, this is happening in our society, people spread this evil around. Do not harm others. Refrain from harming people if you have to go online. Waraddu salam. Wala amru bil ma'ruf. If you are going to be online, then make sure you are commanding righteousness. Wanahi anil munkar. No. Okay. Wanahi anil munkar. So, this is the long and short of it. A Muslim online should be a Muslim that fears Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever we do will be presented before us in the court of Allah. I've said what I've said. I seek for Allah's forgiveness for myself and you. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.